Welcome everybody to this virtual ergonomics webinar. My name is Jordi Koggel, Business Development and Partnership Manager at Xsense, a brand by Movella. Today we'll be talking about our webinar, which is named Workplace Ergonomics, Maximize Employee Well-being and Productivity. I want to welcome you all. Today it is a virtual webinar, so we pre-recorded this. However, we will do a live Q&A session after this webinar. In the chat, you have the ability to post any questions you might have. Somebody will try to reply to them immediately. However, like I said, afterwards there's an extensive time to do a Q&A, so we will ask or answer all the questions you might have. For this webinar, today we will talk about these topics. I will shortly introduce you guys to Xsense. Then we will talk about what workplace ergonomics actually is. What does it mean? What does it entail? What are the goals? We'll talk about major pain points people experience in workplace ergonomics, the international standards people apply for analysis in workplace ergonomics, why we perform workplace ergonomics analysis, and what the influence of mocap, of how can mocap contribute to workplace ergonomics. About our company, Xsense. You might see sometimes Xsense, sometimes Movella. We understand it is maybe a little bit confusing for you guys. What we have done, Movella is the mother company of Xsense. However, we see that Xsense is the product name and our brand name. So that's why currently and for the long time being, it will be Xsense, a brand by Movella. So hopefully that clears it for you guys. About our company. The company Xsense was founded in 2000 and currently we have a global presence. We have 9 regional offices, around 200 employees, a lot of customers, over 2,000. We have about 80 regional sales and distribution partners and we own 172 plus patents. We have our certifications in place and we have at the moment a really nice portfolio of products we have assembled for you guys. For ergonomics, we call it the Xsense Ergonomics portfolio, which enables for workplace ergonomics at any company level in any environment. Shortly about our company, we have 3 different business lines. We have entertainment, we have health and sports, and we have industrial. I'm not going to deep dive into it. However, what you can see about the brands and the names is where we are active in. If you have you want more information about these kind of different things we also do in entertainment or in the industrial sector, let us know. We'd be happy to provide you this information. Here are some names from our customers in health and sports mainly. You see recognizable names probably, but also a very nice mix between health, sports, research, institutes. Basically what it says is that our systems are widely usable in any environment and any application area. About our topic today, workplace ergonomics. For the people who don't know what workplace ergonomics is about, the definition of workplace ergonomics is the design and arrangement of workspaces, equipment, tasks, and environments in a way that it optimizes the human well-being and their performance. The main focus of the workplace ergonomics is to tailor a design of a product or a process line to fit the human physical and cognitive abilities. Another focus is reducing the risk on MSD. MSD is musculoskeletal disorders. Basically, it means injuries. A focus of workplace ergonomics is to reduce the risk on mental problems. For example, the cycle time dependency, which basically says if you have a process line and you have to assemble a product within 10 seconds, if you take 12 seconds to do it, the line will have a delay or even will stop, which creates a big mental demand. And that can create problems. Another focus is to enhance safety and efficiency. So the main goal of workplace ergonomics is to enhance safety, efficiency, and productivity in the entire workplace. If we look a little bit deeper into workplace ergonomics, what it does, the main factors that they analyze are the ones listed here, which is posture, movement, the workstation layout, and between brackets, aiding tool design. Basically, these are the buttons we can twist within workplace ergonomics to improve it, make it better, or the things that make it sometimes worse, like a bad posture or maybe bad movement. So, workplace ergonomics, what do we actually do there and why is it a problem? So what we have listed here are some major pain points. As you can see on the right side, an average time that is lost for one injury of one person is 20 days. That means if somebody gets injured, for an average of 20 days, this person is not able to work. The average cost of an injury in a workplace is $20,000, which is a lot. So in total, that means that disabling workplace injuries cost businesses more than $59 billion a year. You can see a lot of indirect costs on the right side. I won't bother you with them. Feel free to read them, and if you have any questions about them, let us know. So you can imagine if we look on the right side and then focus on the left side, we see that it has big financial implications which we can overcome. For example, by reducing injury or improving the efficiency. Also, when somebody is injured and cannot work, it will basically involve and create an issue with your operational continuity and your quality standards. Because if somebody cannot work, the continuity of your process line will be in danger. Also, if you have to replace somebody with a new person that doesn't know how to assemble or didn't do that specific task a lot, you might create a problem with your quality standards. Of course, companies have a legal and regulatory compliance, which means that if they don't do their analysis conform legal and regulatory affairs, they will get penalties. As you can imagine, there are a lot of cost and resources constraints for workplace ergonomics. And what we see is also difficult sometimes is it's very nice to do an analysis in workplace ergonomics. However, then you have an analysis, but how are you going to integrate that into the normal daily process of a company? Because basically what you sometimes hear is, the ergonomists or the health and safety people, they make stations red, which means that they need to do something about it, which is not always nice for a company. It takes time and effort. Last point, workforce concerns. You can imagine if you would be working at a very unsafe company, at a very unsafe production line, and you have to assemble products day in, day out, or have to work above head for a long period of time, that this creates injuries, and it can concern you because you get home, you feel bad, you feel sore, you have pain, which creates, also it creates problems within the person. So these are pain points that exist in a company and where workplace ergonomics can have an influence. To assess this influence, in workplace ergonomics, they work with standards. There are some international standards, there are some local standards. Basically what we see, for example, in Europe, that every individual country has their own standards, but they also work according to some of the international standards that, for example, are obligatory by the government. So what is the goal of using these standards in workplace ergonomics? One of the main goals of using these standards is improving safety, work on a scientific-based approach because all these standards have all been scientifically validated. You now have an objective analysis tool because if everybody uses the same tool, at least everybody does the same thing and you hope to get the same results. By using these tools, you can improve productivity and your efficiency because if you do it always in the same way, it will create a more efficient process. And because we have scientifically validated standards, you can also comply. You comply to your legal compliance and your regulatory compliances. On the right side, you can see one of the most used standards in workplace ergonomics. We have a lot of different ISO standards. These ISO standards are quite general, and you have specific standards for specific workplace environments. Like, for example, in quarries, you have different standards than, for example, at a logistics department. You have OSHA, you have EN norms, RULA, RIBA, NIOSH, KIM, LLM, and EAWS. All different standards that apply to different kind of environments. So if you have a company that produces something, we'd be happy to get in touch with you to advise what kind of norms you might use and which suit the best for your environment. Of course, there are always upsides and downsides of using these kind of standards because it is a standard. And sometimes you have very specific situations that are not standard. So if you look at the upsides, it is an objective analysis tool. We standardize the analysis and we decrease observer bias. Because if you just look at the video and you're going to argue with your colleague about if a movement is good or not, and you don't have any standards to base it on, it will always remain a discussion. And in this way, you have an objective analysis and you decrease that observer bias. The downside of working in this way, it's still very manual labor. People have to go to the process line. You have to video it or have to watch by eye. Then have to score all your standards by hand, or afterwards rewatch a recording after moment after moment after moment and make your analysis. Can you imagine this takes a lot of time? On average, it takes 4 hours to assess one workstation. So that is a downside. Especially if you, for example, have a company which has 10,000 workstations and you have only 3 people to analyze them. They cannot work if they can only do 2 stations a day. It's not enough for the complete company and the process line. Another downside of these workplace ergonomic standards are they are relatively old. Some of these standards are created in 1995. You can imagine if we take a mobile device from 1995, it might have these dimensions, have an antenna, and it always needs to be plugged into the wall for power. Currently, we have a lot of better technology, stuff that we can analyze way better, way more detailed. So it's, you can argue if these standards still apply to the setting or not. Last downside is to be able to very objectively and consistently analyze according to these standards, you have to be quite well trained. So you need to be an expert to be able to perform these analyses. And that's only the way how they can get to that observer bias that is decreased. So when an expert is gone away or you need to hire somebody new, it takes really a lot of time to get them up to speed and help them in your process. So after these ups and downsides of the international standard, why should we do it? I've listed here 4 points on why people or companies need to perform workplace ergonomics analysis. One of the most important parts is that it is objective and validated. This way, you at least improve your reliability of your analysis. And of course, when somebody gets injured, you also have an analysis that shows you that the workplace was green or maybe yellow. So the injuries this person got, there's a slight chance that it was because of this workstation. Of course, it's very important to boost your employee satisfaction. Because if they work in a safe environment and they feel happy, there's a big chance that their morale is boosted, they feel safe, and that should cause an improved productivity. All these standards are scientifically based, so they have a good backside, and you have multiple reporting options, you have multiple environments, multiple standards, so you can always find something that would fit your environment, and you have the ability to make a good assessment. And the nice thing, it's all international, so if you have a company that's located in multiple different countries or even across the world, you can always use international standards and your company would be covered. Last but not least, it is affordable and you have a quick return of your investment. Because if you can reduce your injury rate, or you can reduce the insurance pay because you have a good work environment, we can see on the right side for different sectors that injury rates are dropping drastically, and that your return on your investment is quite quick when you invest in workplace ergonomics analysis. So, of course, we are Xsense, we do a motion capture. This topic is about how motion capture can contribute to workplace ergonomics. Before I go into that point, I want to talk about the options in general, how to perform an analysis. We already talked about the pen and paper method. Basically, you use a video camera, you measure or you record a workstation, and then afterwards with the pen and paper you are going to score according to your standards. Next to this you have AI video tools that you can point a camera to a person and some kind of a stick figure will appear and it will look at the joint angles of somebody and it can follow them in their work process. Very nice. It will give you a general and quick analysis already on your workplace analysis. Then we have specific software systems like, for example, a Siemens Process Simulate or a CATIA from Dassault Systems that are softwares with the main purpose of this software is to design a process line. However, these softwares sometimes have a module in there which allows you also to animate a person yourself and do some ergonomics analysis. So for example, there's a ruler or rebar in there, so you are able to do some standardized ergonomics analysis based on the workplace design you've already made. So all of these three are very nice, but of course you have motion capture. And with motion capture, you can use, for example, our kit, the Winda kit, we see a lot in workplace ergonomics. The upside of using motion capture, and especially the Xsense Winda system, is that it's magnetically immune, which means that you can use it in any environment. So for example, if I would normally video somebody getting in a car, attaching some plugs, getting out of the car, attaching some other stuff and going back into the car, with a video camera it's quite difficult to get everything into your screen and afterwards analyze it very accurately, because is it rotation 10 degrees or is it 12 degrees or is it maybe 15 degrees? From video that's very difficult, and also the angles of the camera are very difficult. And with an Xsense system you get all that data, angle accuracy in any environment, or if they go inside a car or inside a plant or anything, you can just get the data out. With a motion capture system you have 100% objectivity, because the system is the system which always scores in the same thing and in the same way. Plus anybody can record it. As long as you're able to work with our kit, you can record all the data, and we will provide you with the workplace analysis automatically in a very nice reporting. The last thing is, and very important, we talked about it before, it takes about 4 hours on average to analyze one workstation. With our kit, you can just put it on, takes you 10 minutes. Afterwards, you can record station after station after station after station, as many times as you want to, and with one push of the button, you will have your data. So it will save you a lot of time, and it will basically eliminate your observer bias. So all in all, I hope today that you all learned something about workplace ergonomics. Feel free to put all the questions in the chat, and now we will start our Q&A session. So I want to thank you all for watching this, and hopefully you've learned something about workplace ergonomics today. And whenever you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, because we are happy to help you or provide a demonstration on site or online. That's definitely no problem. I wish you all a very nice day, evening or morning, and we hope to see you next time in the second part of this webinar, where we will deep dive more into what our system can do and how you can use it for workplace ergonomics analysis. Have a good day, and we will now talk about our Q&A session.